who's Drew in this one? Heath, welcome, sir.
Hand off.
Good evening, Mayor Council. Heath Hofteser, Principal Traffic Engineer for the City of Sioux Falls. We received in the engineering office a petition to look at the Main Avenue parking and to consider installing back-end diagonal parking on the east side of Main Avenue, along with consideration of putting in some southbound sharrows that are in the lane for bikes, which would kind of match into the sharrows that are on Main Avenue farther to the south. And then consideration if, as things would work, as we'd start putting this project together, of installing an actually striping a bike lane in front of the back-end diagonal parking on the east side of the roadway also. And I guess the petition that we got into on the east side of the area that's in question, it's between 3rd Street and it goes up to Brookings Street. The area that's looking at putting it in place, there's 10 parcels. The petition included signatures from 8 of the property owners. The other 2 parcels on the east side of the road are city-owned parcels. It'd be for the park. And then on the west side of the road, they were able to obtain signatures from 6 of the 10 parcels. It's there's a couple that they couldn't find at that location. Anyways, that's the information on that. This kind of shows in yellow the area that we're looking at putting in the back-end diagonal parking. And if you guys want, I can pull up on the computer too. I got some details that kind of show the layout of how we would put in the back-end diagonal parking and how we would end up striping it out in place. And if this were to happen, the applicant had indicated that they were willing to assist us in doing it to help speed the process along too. And the reason that we're here today, as with all diagonal parking in the city of Sioux Falls, it requires being passed by the city council in order to implement any diagonal parking. So, and the applicant's here also.
Very good, very good. Well, anybody want to speak to this item? Welcome.
Thanks. My name is Zach DeBoer. I'm the owner of Exposure Gallery and Studios, and I'm on the Visual Arts Commission for the city. So this project I've been working on with Heath, as we mentioned, is back-end angled parking, which, to my knowledge, we don't have currently in Sioux Falls.
We have one location.
We have one location. So it's not a lot. So back-end angled parking, just for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, I would like to maybe just speak about the pros of back-end angled parking. Like it says, you back into your spot instead of pulling into it. What this would do would allow cars to, when they pull out of the spot, have a clearer line of sight and line of vision. And I'm sure many of you have done the slowly back out game on Phillips Avenue. I almost got clipped about twice today. So when you're pulling out, your line of sight is much better. As Heath mentioned, in the design, there is also a bike lane. That bike lane would go in front of the diagonal parking, meaning the bikes would be visible as they kind of came by. Other pros, when you are loading things in and out of your car into your trunk, you're now on the sidewalk. You're not having to walk into the middle of the street to load that new couch in. You're on the safety of the sidewalk. Your kids will unload on the sidewalk side, not on the street side. And this project would add 60 total parking spaces to the existing parking spaces along that stretch of road and eliminate a unnecessary turning lane. It's a project that I'm working on to help revitalize Uptown. It's a part of the downtown area that needs a little bit of love, and I think a project like this will encourage that, will encourage developers, will encourage property owners to take a little bit more pride in their properties and really start to see some movement that happens up there.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. Thanks for coaching Sioux Falls, too, on how to do this. Folks, anybody else want to engage the council on this topic? Councilors?
Move to approve Erickson.
Second, Kylie.
Councilor Erickson's made a motion to approve item 15, seconded by Councilor Vice Chair Kiley. Councilor Urbanbach. Yes.
Thank you. Heath, do you have pictures? Can you show us? I'm in favor of it, but it scares me. Backing up is not my favorite thing to do, right?
Have to do it going in or going out.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
The left side of the screen is the example of what we've sketched up for what the area is going to possibly look like when we have everything in place. And on the right side of the screen is the signage that we put in place and on the couple spots that we do have back in angle parking, kind of following what Des Moines and a lot of other cities have done for the informational signage that they try to put in place for helping to educate the public on how to do it. So,
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Councilor Starr.
Mr. DeBoer, I want to say thank you. This is how city government is supposed to work. Our citizens are supposed to be involved. You got a chance to fight City Hall, and you didn't even have to fight us. So we've got something good. It's a great idea. I think it's going to be good for our city. So thank you for all the work that you've done putting this together.